Hi, everybody. Welcome to Fat Mascara. I'm Garrett.
He's Garrett. I'm Jenn. It's a podcast about beauty culture. Thank you for taking the lead there, Garrett.
So my first time leading. I'm so excited.
I was like, you say hi to everyone. I'm not feeling well. So I'm giving everybody a heads up. Garrett's like, we need to not record. And I was like, we must record, but I'm a little off today. But luckily we have Dr. Muntz, who's not a doctor, in the house to talk about all things beauty culture. But I'm going to be leaning heavily on you, Garrett, to lead the fam through the wide world of beauty culture this week because I'm
You can lean on
sick.
me. That's what I'm here for.
Yay. I know what I need. I need a week at the White Lotus in Thailand like you have.
Funny you should mention that because I literally just did that.
I want to hear everything. So while Garrett was away, the White Lotus season 3 premiered. If you're not familiar, intrigue, mayhem, sometimes murder in a fancy resort that is not unlike an Amman, a Six Senses, or in your case, you went to the actual, tell us everything. You went to the actual place this White Lotus season is filmed, right?
Yes. So I hope the story comes out before this episode airs. If it does not, we'll still link to it eventually. But I basically was invited by the Four Seasons in Thailand to live the White Lotus life for about a week. And I went
hard job Garrett has here, everyone.
Listen, it was really
job.
difficult. I take my job very seriously. So I was digging in. I was living the life. And so the bulk of my stay was at the Four Seasons Koh Samui, which is where they actually filmed about 80% of this season. Not everything you see on the episodes is there, but like all of the kind of, I would say like 80%. Most of it is there. And it is one of the most beautiful properties I've ever been to in my life. It was my first time in Thailand in general, so I was super stoked to be there.
Yeah.
Completely fell in love with the culture, the food, the people. Like literally want to go back tomorrow, I would go. It's a really cool place. And my part of why I went was because I think this season particularly deals the most with wellness.
Oh, yeah.
Because, this season, the White Lotus resort is styled as kind of a wellness resort.
Places that you and I have gone to over the years are like that as in our travels as beauty editors. Yeah.
Totally.
Like they do not just yoga. There was the person who gave the meditation and then
like there's like a posture session and
oh, yeah, the teenage boy on the show.
Yeah.
The teenage boy needs to have a posture session.
Totally. And, a lot of the comedy, at least in the first few episodes, comes from kind of the different levels of comfort that these characters have in a wellness setting. Like the Ratliff family is like so resistant to like giving up their phones for the digital detox. And there's a lot of that. And this whole idea of like, we are going to get biometrics tests when we get in so that someone can formulate a plan for us. And I've been to a lot of those kind of retreats, and they're really interesting and really fun. And there always are people that are resistant no matter how much they're paying to be there.
Yeah.
But the Four Seasons in real life is not actually a wellness resort, I would say. It's not like that level of wellness. There's definitely... Because Thai culture is very spiritual and very wellness driven. I mean, think about one of their biggest cultural exports is the massage technique.
The Thai massage.
I got a lot of Thai massages, y'all. It was insane. I mean, I love a Thai massage in general, but having one in Thailand is like a whole nother level.
I'm not really a treatment person like you. That's one of my favorite treatments in the world. Where you get to wear the cool cotton pajamas. And it's like active stretching, quite a bit of it.
Yes. I love an active massage in general because I feel like for my body and what I need more of like a stretch movement combined with massage. But these are so, beyond. I got a lot of Reiki, weirdly enough.
Okay.
And it was awesome. At Koh Samui, I did a Reiki session with the guy who basically Parker Posey, when she was filming there, fell in love with and got like 1,000 treatments from and still goes back to Thailand to get Reiki from him.
Oh, I didn't even see the story come out of this season. Wait, and she's from her character's from North Carolina like you, I think, right?
Yes. So I also want to take a note. This is a total sidebar, but there's been a lot of discussion about the
Her
accents
accent.
in this
Yes.
season. And let me just say that as someone from North Carolina, from the area that this family is supposed to be from,
Yeah.
these accents are spot on.
Oh my God, Garrett.
No, Piper, no. Tsunami.
You got a
Buddhism.
Thai massage.
I just have to tell you.
It's not exaggerated.
This family is like who I grew up with.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
See, the perfect person to write this story.
I wouldn't say that Parker Posey reminds me of my mother, but she would have been friends with my mother. And the father sounds and acts exactly like my uncle.
Oh my God, that's funny.
So I'm like invested in this season on multiple levels.
Okay, no spoiler alerts if you haven't seen the season, though. I just saw, my husband told me that like the episode we just watched was like the most watched episode of all the seasons of everything. But I wanted to talk to you because I knew you were at this resort and I knew you had watched some of the show. The three women that are the main characters, played by, because I never remember a character's name, but it's Carrie Coon.
Leslie Bibb.
Yes, and Monahan?
Michelle Monahan.
Okay, so here's I have a theory about the look of these women in the show. I was talking to another beauty editor about this, and we both know that when you're doing movie and TV film makeup, they will give you like fake teeth to make a character or a prosthetic nose to make a character. The first couple episodes those women are on the screen, I remember thinking that two of them, the two that are the more high maintenance women, looked a little sandblasted, like a little done. That kind of way of like rich lady that had some work, but it's really good work. And I was thinking, do you think TV actresses or movie actresses ever get too much Botox or an extra peel to like inhabit the character? Like not bad cosmetic work, but like I wonder if the makeup artist was like, you know what, this character would definitely have some serious Botox in her forehead. Can we get that done before you start filming? Do you know what I mean?
I mean, maybe. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean,
they don't
I
look
feel
bad.
like,
they're beautiful women.
No, they're gorgeous.
I'm not out here to like be guessing what they get done, but like, you know that quality of skin when you've been P50ing and you get your weekly peels and you're like, that is so perfectly stretched. I don't know.
It has a little bit of a sheen to it.
The sheen. I mean, also they're in Thailand and it's a tropical region and maybe they're sweating. But I remember Carrie Coon, who's the more hippie, not as put together of this trio, didn't look like that to me. She looked much more natural.
Yeah. I think it also has to do with, I think honestly, my theory is that it's mostly makeup. But I mean, as we know, like from the actual writing of the show, like there's that whole conversation. It's like, what have you done? Oh, just the basics.
Oh, right. And then they talk about it. So I was like,
and you're kind of like, what are the basics, girl? Like,
if you're a makeup artist, you read the script and you see that these characters are discussing the basics for an LA actress and a Texas, I think she's doesn't have a job.
A
she comes from money.
Housewife,
yeah. Of course, these are the type of people that are going to be having cosmetic treatments. And so they're going to have great brows that are perfectly shaped and just that kind of quiet luxury makeup. But if I was a makeup artist, I'd have been like, if you don't mind, let's shoot you up with a little stuff so you really look like one of those characters.
I wonder if an actress would be open to actually doing that, or if there's ways. I mean, this is something that we should ask like a film.
So I've been like asking around because I asked some. So far, I'm still reporting this out, but like I've asked some Hollywood makeup artists. So far, nobody has said that they have heard of people getting not great work because the character has not great work. It's always that they are getting like a prosthetic work or getting dental work or getting things that you wouldn't think about to change the character. But like now that we have all these other ways to change a face, why would you put prosthetic fake skin that looks smooth as porcelain when you can get them sandblasted with a chemical peel and put a bunch of reversible filler tox in there? The filler alone, you could fill out someone's, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I guess, yeah. I think in a case like a White Lotus, I can see people being more open to that because they were there filming for like 7 months. But also think about it, like if you're filming in LA and like you have other commitments outside of your filming schedule, like you have to go to events or red carpets or whatever, you don't want to show up looking crazy.
But that
because
has happened in the past where like somebody shaves their head and they're on the red carpet and we're all like, what are they doing? What a statement. And then it's like, of course it's for a job that we then find out later that they were doing. So I wonder if ever we've picked apart, I don't mean you and I, but just media and society in general, an actress for a particular choice and then come to find that like it was because they were filming something. I don't know.
I mean, I think people are much more open to changing their hair because it could grow back.
Than getting like a medical procedure in the name of a...
I think that
Emmy
there's probably
nod.
a lot of ways that we don't even realize that a makeup artist, especially a special effects makeup artist, could make your skin look. I mean, it's not just more bronzer and more illuminator, you know? It's like there's definitely like you could do the Pat McGrath glass mask somehow.
That's funny you said that because today I was looking a little dry and peaked and I put on Isamaya Core, you know, Isamaya the makeup, or Isamaya, she says. She's been on the show. She has a new core line for Sephora and the face glaze. And I was patting it in and I was just like, oh, I look like dewy sheen. That is kind of what the vibe was, that if they're in air conditioning but have to look like they're sweating. Anyway, let me put this away.
I think also with back to those three women, I think that they're purposely making Carrie Coon, because she's a beautiful woman. I think they're purposely making her look frumpier than the other two because, you know, she has fairer skin. They're not bronzing her. They're not really doing her hair as much. It's like kind of like always the same. The other two are like glammed up.
More highlights in their hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Different hairstyles. Just on that note too, I stayed in the house that they...
Stop it.
Or that they stay in.
I saw your pictures on Instagram and I was like, well, it looks just like the TV show. It was the actual... And I couldn't figure out because two of them would be out drinking and then like the other one would be in her quote unquote bedroom. And I was like, is this a whole house?
Yeah, so there's on this property...
You had a whole house to yourself in Thailand?
Me and
Why
two
weren't
other
we there
editors.
with you?
I mean, I wish that you had been there. That would have been major. So basically, there's 10 what they call residences, which are like multi-bedroom houses that you can rent.
That explains it.
All the other guest rooms are their own private villas. But then if you have like a larger group, you can rent a residence. So it's basically like a central building that's like
with the little pool, with the tiny
living
pool.
room, a pool, all that stuff. And then each bedroom is like its own suite.
Did you sleep in every bed in the house?
No, I stayed in the room that had its own pool. And it was the room that Leslie Bibb's character stays in.
Okay, if anybody's watching the show now, we can picture Garrett in the room that Leslie Bibb was in, doing his skincare just as Leslie Bibb would.
Yeah, in one of the more recent episodes, there's a scene where she walks out of her room and she looks at the other two women kind of talking by the fire.
I remember. Yeah.
That was my room. Yeah. And it had the best bathtub I've ever been in my life.
Really?
It was terrazzo marble, egg-shaped, so large that it fit me with ample room left over.
I was like, oh, did you meet someone to fit you and who? What?
I didn't get to try the multi-person theory, but I was like, if a bathtub can fit me, period, it's a good bathtub.
Oh, yeah. For people who don't know, you're a tall, muscular man. What are you, 6'3"?
I'm a large man. Yeah, 6'3".
Okay. That's pretty impressive. All right, so you went to the White Lotus, but it's actually the Four Seasons. It was fab. We're going to read your article. Did you get to do anything else? Did you go beauty shopping? Did you get any other treatments?
So I went to a couple other Four Seasons locations after Koh Samui. And when I was in Chiang Mai, which is in the northern part of Thailand, which is also an incredible Four Seasons resort, that was actually one of my favorites. Anyway, I went to a pharmacy because my friend Sheila, who was on the trip, she wanted to go to a grocery store to buy curry powder, or curry paste, which I will tell you is a genius souvenir idea if you're ever traveling abroad and you're like going to a grocery store.
Spices are one of my favorite things to bring home. Good call.
Amazing. So next door was a pharmacy, and I was like, guys, we got to go in this pharmacy and check out what's happening. It was kind of like, it wasn't like a pharmacy. It was like more of like a Boots kind of idea, you know? Yeah. So it's mostly beauty, pretty much all beauty, like a Boots/Ulta vibe. And I bought a lot of stuff. There is a brand called Skinify or something that our guide from the hotel told us that it was a very popular Thai brand. I've been using it, not really. I'm curious to see how it works out.
Skinify is skincare products only, I
Yes,
assume.
I
Okay.
got like a niacinamide serum and like a barrier support serum. There are a few things that I thought were interesting. So I actually got you a gift.
What?
And I have it here, but I'm gonna show it. I'm gonna ruin it. So not only did I buy you your favorite,
It's the Biore Asian Biore UV sunscreen.
Aqua Rich that you've raised a
Oh my God,
before.
you're the best.
But they have a new version that just came out called Tone Up.
Oh, what is this new packaging with the ombre purple? What's the tone?
I asked the woman, because I can't read Japanese. I asked the woman what it was. She thought I don't know. She was just like, it's brand new. We love it. I was like, okay, cool. So in my own research, it has like
You're like, I'm on a beauty podcast. I need some more information, please.
I'm like, I need to know the ingredient list. Thank you. I have been wearing it myself.
Oh, yeah.
It has a slight purple lavender tint to it.
Oh, hence that packaging. Okay.
Yes.
That's supposed to help if you're feeling sallow, by the way.
Yes. It's really good for...
I need that today because I'm peaked. I'm serious.
Should I just like run it over to your apartment later? It actually, it's interesting. It gives you it's a little bit more dewy finish than the original.
Okay.
So you have a little bit of a glow. And it's like a lavender. So yeah, I mean, for me, it kind of helped a little bit with my redness, but I think it would be better for people that go towards like yellow undertones.
Yeah.
But it's really, I like it. It's cool. I like that they're kind of evolving this Aqua Rich into new things.
Yeah. And Biore makes an American version now of Aqua Rich, but as we all know, the sunscreens that are approved in America are different, so you're not getting that like the Tinosorb one that's like the good. But this is the good.
This is the good. This is like straight from
Japan. You
Japan.
got me a Prezi.
Of course. I couldn't. It was also BOGO, so I was like, I'm going to buy it for myself. I might as well just get some for Jenn, too.
Oh, thanks.
But I
love a buy one, get one.
Seriously. It was really funny because the person that was from the hotel that took us was like, that one's on sale. And I was like, but what is it? She's like, I don't know. It's on sale. Just get it. And I was like, that's not how I shop. But no, I'm excited for you to try it. I want to see what you think. Because I was traveling last weekend too, down to Florida, and I didn't, because I'm a carry-on only person, I don't ever really, I have a hard time bringing sunscreen. So I used the Tone Up on my entire body.
Yeah, because the facial sunscreens come smaller than 3.3, is it now?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was interesting. I like the finish. It's like, it has a sheen to it, which is kind of interesting.
Okay, I'm going to come grab that from you in your hood and then try it. And usually you can find those online, even if I'll report back.
Yeah.
Wait, I know you were in Florida. That actually is going to bring us to the news because you have done some reporting for us, correct?
Yes. I went to the AAD national meeting.
American Academy of Dermatology, yeah. Let's get into the show proper. Just everybody beware. Garrett's just going to be our leading anchor on the news tonight, like as if we're like a duo on the TV news. All right, let's get into it. Okay, it is time for the news. Take it away, lead anchor Garrett Muntz.
Well, so last weekend was the annual meeting for the American Academy of Dermatology called AAD. And for those of you that don't know, this is like it's like basically a big conference / trade show where derms, brands, all sorts of skincare related people will come together, go around this conference center, find new things that are happening, hear presentations. Doctors a lot will do presentations about their research, their new findings. Brands will present new products and
you get to wear a lanyard.
Get to wear a lanyard, walk around the floor. I was really having flashbacks to my previous life as a fashion editor when I would go to the trade shows. And so it was really interesting for me. It was my first time at this conference. And I thought it was really fascinating because unlike other trade shows that I've been to where it's just about presenting product, because this was medical professional focused, all the products that they were kind of talking about and presenting, they had to talk about their research. And so a lot of them had clinical trials to kind of back up these products or presented research that kind of supported why they were launching this product, whatever. So I thought it was fascinating. And The other fascinating part to me, I'm going to circle back on the research part later, but is that a lot of the people there are dermatology residents. So these are like freshly out of medical school, young doctors, right? Who are
I've been watching The Pit, so I know a resident, but also
I'm obsessed.
Yes.
So
yeah.
it was really cool to see this group of people being they are feral for samples. Like
Oh, right, because
lining
they're not
up.
yet at a private clinic that has La Roche-Posay mini sunscreens on every
Right.
desk corner.
And you and I tend to rub elbows with like a certain level of dermatologist who like is more well known maybe, or is used to speaking to press or has been practicing for X amount of years. These are brand new doctors. So seeing what they get excited about was fascinating to me.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the things that I noticed, I was talking to my friend Eden, who was the other editor who was there with me from Birdie, and we were kind of eavesdropping on a lot of these. I don't want to say kids because these are doctors, but young doctors. We're eavesdropping a lot. And the brands that they were super excited about were brands like Bubble, Hero.
Okay, both brands we know, but
Topicals.
Okay.
You know, there were a lot of these kind of new, very Instagram friendly.
So do you think they were leading with their doctor hat for that excitement, or was that the Gen Z in them that was excited because these are 3 brands you just named that market very heavily towards younger customers?
We were debating this because I think part of it is the generational thing. Who are these brands targeting? It's that demographic or even younger. Bubble is skewed for teenagers. But I also think part of it could be what these brands are supposed to address, which is things like acne.
The issues as doctors they're going to be seeing a lot of medical issues.
Yeah, because also it's like, think about it. If you're a doctor and your patients are coming in asking for help with acne or pigment issues or whatever, and they're on the young side, you kind of want to give them ones that they want to use, right? Instead of just saying like, go to Walgreens and buy XYZ like everyone else. If they're coming in and they already know, hey, I've heard about this brand Bubble, would this be good for me?
Yeah, if they're going to do a benzoyl wash anyway, it's like, why not give them one that has nice branding instead of the one from the pharmacy that came in a paper bag and like doesn't have a great cosmetically elegant base?
Totally. And I think that we all know as beauty editors, one of the things that we hear dermatologists say all the time is the best product for you is the one that you're going to use, right? So if these patients are coming in and they are asking about specific brands, you want to give them what they want, right? Because then they're going to use it.
Right. Like what within that line would I recommend?
Yeah. So, and then the other thing too, we're like, or does this mean that they just want to be derm talkers?
Oh, and this has been written about and we've talked about on the podcast that there's a whole class of doctors that make their money not from working with patients, but from Sponcon.
TikTok and, know, and like social media and brand deals, which is a valid thing. There were a lot of those people there.
Dancing derms is what I used to call them. It's so pejorative, sorry.
It was really funny for me to see the reels and stuff being posted after the fact. I was like, when did they? I didn't see them wearing that outfit, or I didn't see, it's like there's a lot of that. But I also get it. I will also say that dermatologists can party their little butts off. I could not keep up with these people at night. There were so many parties. And seeing a lot of these Instagram famous dermatologists and the reactions of the other, especially the residents to them, it was like these people were celebrities. So I can see why.
Who is like, was there a derm that you're thinking of that got stopped on the floor? Because it's like, look, it's Dermangelo or whatever. Well, he's a little bit older.
Dermangelo was there, saw him, saw dermatologist, saw Dr. Dustin, Portlia. There were a lot. I mean, I didn't see them all personally, but I know that they were all there because I saw the reels later. I didn't really see any get stopped on the floor. It was more like at the parties, people were like trying to come up and like get selfies with them or whatever. I also will say that going to a dermatologist party with our friend Dr. Dendy is like being with the Queen of England.
Oh.
People were like, oh my God, that's Dendy. And I was like, who? Her?
Dendy's a queen.
Love her. Love her so much. Shout out Dr. Dendy. But I also wanted to report on some other things, which, I mean, one of the biggest things that I noticed coming out was there's a lot of innovation with sun care, which is really cool. But I wanted to present this because I wanted to hear what our listeners think about this. And maybe there's some calls that we could get later. So I was in a presentation from L'Oreal, and they had done some consumer research on attitudes towards sunscreen and education around sunscreen. And one of the things that I found fascinating was that 50% of non-white Hispanic people are not aware of the difference between mineral and chemical sunscreen.
It's so funny because you and I live and breathe this stuff. And you know what's even crazier? Do you know chemical sunscreen in medical terms is called organic sunscreen?
Organic chemical sunscreen.
Whereas the mineral is the inorganic sunscreen,
yes,
which throws people off. That just means does it have carbon molecule or not? But like it's very confusing.
It took me a while to wrap my head around
I used to think organic meant mineral, but it's the opposite of what you would think it is because they're going literally by what the molecule of the thing looks like.
Totally.
And I never took organic chemistry, clearly.
On the flip side of this, 71% of people of color do not know the difference between chemical and mineral sunscreen.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
And then the other thing...
Wait, do you need to know the difference, though, if you're being protected?
One of the things, too, they asked what the factors influencing patient selection of
tell me, what are they?
Sunscreens. Number one, by far, 75.2% is the SPF factor.
Okay. That makes sense.
Number two, 31%, is ease of application.
I think it's flipped for me. I'm going to go ease in cosmetic application over SPF. But
no, for me, absolutely.
Yeah.
29.8% dermatologist recommendations.
That still counts for something, huh?
Yeah. And then down at the bottom is things like broad spectrum, mineral formulas. Only 8.3%.
Yeah. But honestly, right now in America, if in order to get an SPF designation, you have to be broad spectrum. That changed in the recent update to the guidelines. So broad spectrum meaning it protects UVA, which causes DNA damage, and UVB, which causes burning and also some aging.
And then the last portion that I wanted to highlight from this survey, which I thought was fascinating. How do you feel about the availability of sunscreen options on the current market?
Oh.
White people, non-Hispanic white people, 51% are strongly satisfied.
But that's not a lot still.
No.
But
listen to this. People of color, 11% strongly satisfied.
You know what? We search them out and we get sent them, and they're usually the more expensive ones, but the good sunscreens for skin of color are not in Walgreens. They're not in Walmart. They're not like readily available. They're like in Credo and Sephora, and they're often in the facial sunscreens. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, when's the last time, other than the clear continuous sprays, you could get a big tube of a non-white cast? I feel like I'm always with the body sunscreens. I'm just like not as happy ever.
I agree with you. And I think that there's, one of the reasons that they presented this survey was that a lot of these companies are working really hard to figure out tint options, like whether it's a wider range of colors in tint or better ways to have it tints that will work across skin tones.
To that point, Beauty of Joseon, everybody's favorite sunscreen, the South Korean version obviously cannot be sold legally in the United States, even though you can buy it online. And so they reformulated for the United States, and their big push is this line of daily tinted fluid sunscreens.
Oh.
So because I think part of the reason is when you have to use only the US approved sunscreens, they tend not to be as sheer. So in order for it to look sheer, like you said, you need a tint in it. And they did a nice American-worthy range of shades. Because I feel like some countries, they're just like, okay, if you look at our country's population, it's just not as diverse. But when you come in, you're selling in the United States, you need a range. And I've been playing around with this one so far, and I like it, the Daily Tinted Fluid Sunscreen. But to what I said, it's still just facial. Look how little, it's one of those little shakies.
Right.
And it's like, what is
Well,
it's
also, it's hard to do a tinted body sunscreen because then you're getting into like body makeup and like...
Is it going to smear on stuff?
Like maybe you want to wear it on the beach, but like even last year, I was playing around with that. Remember that brand Vacation came out with that kind of shimmer, gold shimmer?
Yeah.
So I was playing with it last summer because I was like, this is going to make me look jacked. Like, this is going to be great. You're going to see all my veins. And I put it on and I laid down. And when I got up, my towel had like a gold outline of my body in the middle of it. And I was like,
bodybuilding style, like it was like body makeup.
Yeah.
But they wear it on stage and stage lights to look good. No, that's not hot. You get up from your towel at the lawn chair and like.
No, I was like, this is embarrassing. I don't think that I was like, I need to go shower this off and then reapply a different. I mean, I get the idea of it, but I was like, this is not the look.
Wait, I just thought of something. You have a lot of tattoos on your body. Some of yours are color too. When you wear a tinted or a shimmery, does it affect the way your tattoo looks?
Not usually, unless there's like unless it's thick. But it's like, I'm not wearing like a body makeup. But I do prefer more hydrating versions that will make my tattoos look better, like an oil
they look so much
or
better.
something like that.
But when I worked at the tattoo magazine, like everybody gets super oiled up for every photo shoot because the color pops. Like even mine, when they're just looking, I'm like, oh, that one is looking kind of old. And mine's all black ink. Just a good lotion and a little, and you're
Totally.
like, it's popping now.
We can go into a whole another tattoo care segment because that's a big deal right now too. There's a lot of cool stuff coming out with that.
Next month's, because we still want the AAD reporting. Was there anything else you can bring back to us?
Yeah, well, speaking of the tinted thing, so I thought this was really fascinating. So there were some studies that came out from the ones that I saw were from L'Oreal, but there's more. There's a few different ones that have done this, and it found that visible light, which is part of the light spectrum. You know, it goes like UVA, UVB, visible light, infrared. Mm-hmm. Visible light is not necessarily damaging in terms of like sun damage, but it can be really responsible for hyperpigmentation in people of color.
Yes, because blue light is visible light. And
yes.
I mean, the sunlight has some visible light in it too.
So
clearly.
They found that the best way to protect against visible light damage, particularly with people of color, is to use iron oxide.
I just talked to a derm about this.
Really?
That's so funny. Keep going.
So I know with like La Roche-Posay, for instance, they have a new range in their Anhelios line where they've added more colors to the tints. And those colors are based in iron oxide. So they've kind of done a double whammy. Which is, by the way,
guys, a mineral that's usually used to make a colored makeup, like the beige or the red in the makeup. It's not titanium or zinc oxide. So it doesn't in itself have UV protection.
Correct. It's not a UV filter. Or UV screen. It would be added to an existing, like a zinc or a titanium formula. Because that's not something that people, I think, talk about very often. I didn't know anything about visible light damage until I went. And I thought it was really cool that in addition to trying to expand their color ranges, a lot of these brands are also including iron oxide because of this new kind of data that our people...
Oh, because then it's going to automatically also protect from... Yeah.
I had a meeting with this dermatologist. You might know her, Dr. Heather Woolery-Lloyd. Do you know her?
Oh, love.
She's amazing. So cool. But she told me about this study, which I have to look up because I want to look more into it. But it's a recent-ish study that found that pigment issues like hyperpigmentation, like age spots, sunspots, actually give you a higher perceived age than wrinkles.
Regardless of what ethnicity you are?
Yes.
Just like being spotty.
So if you have more spots, people perceive you as older than if you have wrinkles. Isn't that wild? Huh. I need to look more into this. She and I, because there's a lot happening as well with like products and ingredients that target pigment issues. So we were talking about that in that context. I thought it was really interesting. I need to ask her.
You know what? Here's a story idea for you. It affects men more because think about it. Women like me, should we have those issues, we can always throw a foundation on. I mean, you can too, but most men, because of facial hair or whatever reasons, like they don't want to put on a full face of foundation. No offense, you guys tend to be oilier, feels heavier sometimes. And so like we at least have that recourse if we do have pigmentation issues that we can wear foundation or concealer. We've learned how to apply it culturally. It's more common to see women using those products, but like you're going to want to have more skincare solutions if you're a guy, I would assume. Am I right?
For sure. No. And she was saying that too, that in her practice, she sees a lot of, people of color in her practice. She was saying that overwhelmingly the thing that the men everyone, but especially the men, complain about is pigment issues. Because also, think about, we're shaving. So if you get ingrowns, especially if you have darker skin, ingrowns all over your neck and chin, like that leaves like pigment. So people are very concerned about that. And what's really cool is that there are more and more products coming out, multi-use products that target this, et cetera. There's one more thing that I want to end on with my
We'll allow it.
AAD. More sunscreen issues, though. So there was one study that I was shown that was done by this company called Kenvue. And then there was another study that I saw that was similar, not the exact same, but both of these studies found that hybrid sunscreens, meaning sunscreens that have both chemical and mineral sunscreens, are less effective than single.
What? I use a lot of the ones that are both titanium dioxide and like homosalate or whatever.
So one of them spoke about visible light specifically, but then the other one was just in general UV.
Guys, my jaw is open. Am I not like jaw dropped, Garrett?
Yeah,
like I was like, it's hard to stump me in sunscreen, and I got to look into this.
It's something that I've always assumed two is better than one.
Well, also each protects against a specific wavelength of like 1,000 to 1,200. So you want multiple ones so you get that broadest range of protection.
Yeah.
But maybe...
I asked the company for that one study, and I haven't received it yet. So once I get it, I'll send it to you and we can talk. But I am curious whether they were looking at the entire UV spectrum or if it was just like UVB or UVA. I mean, UVA is like, we rarely get a lot of that. But
all right, we have to dig into this a bit.
Yeah, I want to dig into that. But that I thought was really interesting because...
Also, I don't want to give anybody fodder not to wear sunscreen or pick a sunscreen because now this is another thing they have to look for and turn over the thing. And as you were saying, which you started this whole thing, which is like, if you don't even know mineral versus chemical, as most average Americans don't, like this is so deep in the weeds. But our Fat Mascara listeners love skincare, so I feel like...
Well, listen, I think that, yes, you're right to bring that up. The bottom line is that any sunscreen is better than no sunscreen. So no matter what you're using, I mean, I'm not saying that the difference is negligible, but if you look at, they always do in all these studies, they do control groups where they don't have any sunscreen on, and the damage is like 98%, right? So, like, you can't argue with the fact that any sunscreen is better than no sunscreen, regardless of whether you're like, oh, I heard.
And we had to send Garrett, guys, to Florida to come back with that deep, deep cut. Any sunscreen is better than no sunscreen.
I mean, listen, and that is true because one of the things as well that from that consumer study that I previously mentioned, 62% of U.S. consumers use skincare, 11% use sunscreen.
I say this all the time. I'm like, there's no point buying a serum, a moisturizer, any of it if you're not wearing sunscreen. It
Completely.
Literally, And sunscreen's usually cheaper.
Totally. You do not have to pay a lot for a good sunscreen. So that's my little overview.
Okay, before we go to Raise a Wand, I had one thing I wanted to talk about, but I'll keep it brief. But I was like, I want to talk about this with Garrett because I thought you'd think it was interesting because I know you love plastic surgery. I'm not sure if you guys saw this. Last week, Meghan Trainor posted, so the singer, I don't know about that, but everybody knows who Meghan Trainor is now. Thank you for my singing. Told you I was loopy today. She posted sponsored content on her Instagram for a breast implant brand. So her post read, big news, it's official. I got a breast lift and augmentation with Motiva implants. And so this is a company with a new line of products that they're promoting. Obviously, she got paid for it. This is an ad. She's going to be sharing more about her journey in the next couple of weeks. I was like, oh, it's a journey? Your journey. But it is, because she had kids. She said she wasn't happy with the way she looked. I have no problem whatsoever with people getting plastic surgery. I don't think I've ever seen such obvious sponsored content for medical devices, like the thing that goes in your body. We're not talking about like a product or a particular doctor or a clinic. It's the literal implant itself.
Yeah, I mean, I'm conflicted on this, I have to be honest.
It's also like, wait, that would be the same as doing Sponcon for like
a
a
pacemaker.
drug, a pacemaker. Are we allowed to do that? It's crazy. What's your conflict?
Okay, so my conflict is I will always support transparency around plastic surgery, aesthetic procedures.
You think, says Garrett, who comes on every week, like, guess what procedure?
Guess what I did last week? Guess how my body has changed since we last talked? No, but I will always support that because I think it's important. I do think, especially from a celebrity, to have someone be so open and willing to post and willing to publicly talk about this. And it's a different level than just like Joe Jonas being on Dysport or Botox. You know, like there's all these people that are like, have worked with Botox in the past. Whatever. That's great too. But I think what's interesting is this is like a medical. And I do think,
I guess technically a filler, if it goes in your face, is like, it's in there and Botox is in there. It felt different.
It feels different because it's something that we don't usually think of as being branded. Like, it's not like necessarily a consumer product.
Yeah, well, okay, so this was my thing about it. I have multiple surgical implements in my body. I have pins in both of my feet. I have screws in my knee. I have like a fake tendon in one of my knees. I have no idea what brand they are.
Right, yeah.
Like, my dad might know his like pacemaker brand, but that's because you have to get them serviced and stuff. But it's the fact that we're marketing, they're doing advertising where not only are you meant to go into your doctor's office for a procedure, but you're meant to ask specifically for this brand of implant because, you know, she didn't talk about how great it is. And I was like, do people actually shop that way when they're getting plastic surgery? I feel like you shop by provider.
Yeah.
And your particular needs, and then whatever the provider says suits you best. Like, I'm not going to go in asking for a brand name. Like, when I get my hair colored, I don't go, is this a Wella salon or a Veda salon? Like, I guess, do some people? I don't know.
I think it depends on the procedure. I think that something like M-Sculpt or Morpheus 8.
Oh, or like, okay, those are devices,
Fraxel,
though.
Yeah, exactly. They're devices, right? So if you're like, oh, I've heard really good things about M-Sculpt, I want to try it. You're going to go on the website and look up who does M-Sculpt near you.
Or Morpheus or something. Okay. Yeah. Again, but it's a device. It's not
yes, it's like a treatment, a device. I think that if you're getting a breast augmentation or anything surgical, I mean, I would not know enough to walk into a doctor in a consult and be like, yes, but what brand is the implant?
Okay, I can think of one thing though. So my friend, one of my friends who has breast augmentation, I remember she specifically, because of whatever branding or marketing was done, or I don't know why, wanted the gummy bear implant. I don't know if that means anything to you, but if anybody knows about plastic surgery, there were 3 makers, I think Allergan is one of them, of a particular type of closed gel implant that it has a feel that is less watery and more gummy bearish. Yeah, it's like gummy bear. And it was it's still popular, but it's like people wanted that because it was thought to be like, that's going to be more natural feel. So I don't know why I'm saying this now because like, yeah, people were asking for that, but it wasn't by brand name. It was like by type.
Right.
It's like a sneaker. I want the Motiva. Like, what?
I feel like I would trust my provider to recommend the right thing for me, right?
Yeah. That's my takeaway is just, and she does say that on this sponsored content, and good for her. Get your money, Meghan Trainor, but like, and get your surgery that you wanted. But I question how far this will go if we have sponsored content. Like, are we going to next have, I don't know, I just feel like we're entering a new phase of futuristic augmentation of our bodies and bio-optimizing that like involves brand names. And I don't know why I'm saying this with surprise in my voice. Of course, that's where this is going. But
yeah, of course. I'm all for it. Make me RoboCop. That's all I care about. But I do think that like most people.
Oh, I just heard the North Carolina for the first time. You just sounded like from White Lotus. Most people.
Most people. I don't know. I feel like people want certain results and they're going to go off of they're going to go for what gives them those results, right?
Yeah.
And as long as they have a provider that they trust, and you always should have a provider that you trust, they can recommend the right thing for you. I think it's interesting. I also want to know the logistics of this partnership personally from a nerdy standpoint, because I've worked with medical companies before from an editorial standpoint where there are specific rules with what you can and can't say, right?
Oh, of course.
And so I want to know what her disclosures are like. I want to know, is it like promoting an ad?
Well, Garrett, you can visit motivausa.com/Meghan with an H.
I will be doing
MEGHA.
that immediately afterward. Because I also want to know, like, is it more akin to being the spokesperson for a drug? Or is it more like a,
Oh, right.
aesthetic?
Yeah, of course there's like Lady Gaga migraines and
Right.
all that. You're right. I don't know. It just felt different, especially because it wasn't like a fancy TV ad. It was just like in my mobile phone kind of Sponcon feels. But
I mean, good for her. Get those boobs done.
As Jess likes to say, watch the space. I do not think this will be the last time we see a celebrity with a sponsored surgical implement or medical device to promote. So yeah. All right, let's go raise some wands, shall we?
We shall.
Okay, it is time to raise a wand. I have to say, I wasn't sure where to put this in the show, but Garrett and I got a text, 646-481-8182. Remember MJ?
We love
MJ, who told us if we can't be good, be careful, and gave us and had questions. Guys, her name is actually Maya. That's the M. And she sent us a picture.
She's gorgeous.
And she's gorgeous, very cool glasses, chicest of the chic. She texted us her photo. And she said, this is Maya, aka MJ from upstate New York. You guys rock. I just love her so much. And I texted it immediately to Garrett. Hi, MJ. Anyway, she's like, I feel like she's our patron saint of Raise One.
Yeah, totally. I also use her catchphrase whenever I leave the house. I tell my dogs, be good. But if you can't be good, be careful.
Very good. That's right.
Yeah.
She's the best. Okay, we're going to get into our Raise One from a listener. Our homework has changed. Our new homework, which we'll get to, Jess and I were asking people about what their neighborhood would smell like after we had, I don't know if it came across as a giggle. I think we were both not saying the full truth of why we thought Greenpoint Bond number 9 was so hilarious. I think we alluded to this is just a neighborhood where we both spent a lot of time in our 20s that just you would never think would have a fancy perfume. But the new homework is, which I'm going to ask you in a second, that we want to know where you're from and what fragrance you would make to represent where you're from. However, because of our recording dates, all of the voicemails are still about liquid eyeliners. This is the last one, and I guarantee you, Garrett and fam, I think this person gets the last word on the liquid eyeliners. Let's listen to Meghan.
Hey, Jess and Jen. This is Meghan calling from Orange County, California. I've been listening to pods for many years now, and I keep hearing the request for a great liquid eyeliner and also a chocolate liquid eyeliner. So I decided I would finally call in and give you a raise the wand to the Too Faced Better Than Sex Easy Glide Waterproof Liquid Eyeliner. I've been using this for a few years now, and I actually gave birth to this naturally, and my doctor at the end was so impressed that my eyeliner didn't even smudge. They have it in black, and they also make it in a beautiful chocolate brown, which would satisfy the need for both a liquid eyeliner and a chocolate liquid eyeliner. So please go check it out. Again, it's Too Faced Better Than Sex Easy Glide Waterproof Liquid Eyeliner. Thank you. Love the pod. Keep up the great work.
Okay, I don't know if you caught that because she sort of skimmed over what for me was the main point, which is she wore this liquid eyeliner while giving birth.
I mean, that is the test of all tests.
And the doctor was like, oh, it still looks great. That famous Urban Decay, they were in an ambulance and it was a viral meme. But it's stuck on through this woman gave birth. I can't think of a more sweaty, messy, rubbing things.
Tearful.
This is the test of all tests.
Yeah.
Yeah, tears.
I mean.
Of joy, of pain, of also good for, love our listeners that she put on a look. She put on a look for the doctor.
Yeah. She's like, I'm sorry, let me just take a break to put on my face. I mean, I would do the same thing.
Wait, funny, actually, now that I'm thinking about this, the eyeliner was Too Faced Better Than Sex. And it's Where do babies come from? There's a whole connection in there. I love it. Thank you to Meghan and everybody else who responded. We got a bunch for KVD liquid eyeliner, by the way. A bunch of people texted me about that one, and Mad Max Brown. But like, honestly, I think Meghan nailed it. That's great. Our new homework that we're going to be asking people about, like I just said, was what your town smells like. But I was thinking, Garrett, had you heard us talk about this? And you've seen Bond number 9, Greenpoint. I'm assuming you saw the news on that.
I listened to the episode. I also got the press release. I also I lived in Greenpoint when I was younger.
So what's your thought?
I had the same reaction that you guys had. I was like, oh my God, of all the neighborhoods. Because Greenpoint, I mean, I haven't been up there since I moved away. I moved to South Brooklyn probably about 10 years ago, but I lived in Greenpoint for 5 years.
Okay.
And it is a really special neighborhood. I really do love it. It's very much where you live in your 20s.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like, think about, like, that's where, like, Girls took place.
Oh, did they live at Greenpoint?
Yes. I mean, at least Hannah
I always thought it was Williamsburg. Huh. Oh, of course. They couldn't afford Williamsburg in the era that they were. Oh, yeah. Because they're younger than me. They're like more than a decade younger. So when I came to New York, not poor people, I should say poor people, but young. Not yet upwardly mobile imports to New York City were living in Williamsburg and the like.
I mean, it's a rough around the edges area. Let's put it that way. It's really fun.
So what do you think it should smell like?
There's got to be a pierogi in there somewhere, like a little yeasty, oniony pierogi undertone.
Pierogi scent. Okay.
I mean, it's by the water. I feel like the aquatic element. I haven't smelled the fragrance, but I remember the notes a little bit, and I remember there being a marine aquatic element, and I do think that's true because it's on the water.
So what is your neighborhood now? What would you call it?
I'm in Borum Hill.
Okay, so what would Borum Hill smell like?
Well, I haven't really thought about that. I have thought about where my hometown would smell. Well, my hometown.
Oh, perfect.
Charlotte,
North
Carolina.
Tell us what Charlotte, North Carolina would smell like.
I need to circle back on the Borum Hill. I need to think about that a little bit more. So Charlotte, I think for me would be magnolia. I know azaleas don't have a lot of fragrance, but I do think it would be a magnolia azalea moment with maybe some fresh cut grass in there.
Oh, yes.
But I
green
also
floral.
Green floral, a nice springy green floral. It's a city that has a lot of green, at least my neighborhood. I lived in South Charlotte, kind of Myers Park area, if anyone knows. Lots of lawns, lots of big trees, lots of churches. So I feel like there has to be some sort of like incense.
Oh, so your top is
resin.
the green, fresh. Your heart is the magnolia floral, and then look at you. You have a pyramid built. The base is a little churchy.
I feel like I need like a woody churchy base, like a sandalwood with maybe like some sort of like benzoin or some resin or something in it. I also want to do.
This is shaping up to be a very wearable, beautiful perfume.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone wants to start a North Carolina-based fragrance company, let me know. Actually, I do have a friend that has a fragrance company in North Carolina, so we're going to be talking later. Shout out Fulton and Rourke if anyone knows it. I also think that it has to be like a dash of vinegar in there because of the Carolina barbecue sauce.
Oh, all right. A little bit of astringency and
a little
zing
bit of
like
an acidic zing.
Yeah, like a red wine vinegar almost, so that it has like, well, of course, it's just straight up vinegar, but okay, I love this.
And if anyone wants to offline talk to me about the particulars of Carolina barbecue sauce regional differences, I would be happy to debate. It's a hot topic.
Text us 646-481-8182. It's not on Garrett's phone yet. We could make that happen. We won't pick up, neither of us. We sometimes do text back. I do text back to people. So tell us what neighborhood or town or city you're from and what it would smell like. I cannot wait to hear. I'll share my hometown next week. I'm still working on it. But let's do our personal raise ones, shall we? Garrett, you go first.
Okay. Well, and this is going to surprise no one because I'm on such a sunscreen kick after AAD. But I have been wearing and loving the La Roche-Posay Ant Helios UV Toned, which is a new formula.
This is the word tone, the same as the Biore you brought me as a gift?
No, it's different.
Oh, okay. But same word, right?
Yes. Similar, I would say similar idea, different formula, because this is an SPF 50. It is a chemical sunscreen. So it's really, really lightweight. It has a little bit of a dewiness to it that I usually don't like, but it's so lightweight and I feel like it looks more natural than it's not like a dewy finish. It's just like a little bit of a shine.
Okay.
But it has niacinamide in it. So it's the reason it's called tone is that the niacinamide is supposed to help you with like pigmentation issues, uneven skin tone.
The tone is for evening one's tone.
Yes. My skin loves niacinamide because I also tend towards red. So niacinamide really helps me kind of even out, cool
down the
tone
red.
down. Yes.
I love the word tone with no context. It could be anything. It could be muscles getting tighter. It could be,
Totally.
I don't know, but it implies something's happening.
A tone like an audio tone?
An audio tone. No, this is tone as in evening your skin tone by decreasing pigmentation with added niacinamide.
Yes. And I'm really into this particularly, but I love this kind of advent of multifunctional sunscreens that are also, this one is frankly very hydrating. And so I've been using it as it's getting warmer here.
As your moisturizer.
As also my moisturizer, yeah.
It's funny, Julie and I were talking about the makeup skincare hybrids, and we landed kind of on, we definitely like this idea when it's a full face product that has SPF.
Yeah.
If you call it a hybrid or whatever, that makes sense to us. The other one, of course, that makes sense is, I didn't even think of this, your sunscreen acts as your moisturizer because some of them are not moisturizing, like an unseen, some other ones that are like that clear gel-like texture just does not have enough moisture for some people. So this is like everything in one.
I also find that your moisturizer with SPF usually doesn't have enough SPF in it because they want to make it more feel like a moisturizer. But I love like a moisturizing sunscreen.
Right. And you know it's going to rub in, whereas if you put on as much sunscreen with an SPF 30 moisturizer, you'd be like gooped up.
Yeah, totally. I also, anything that's going to save me time, I am on board for. I mean, not like, it has to be good. It has to work too.
No,
but
this
I
is
do
a
think that
theme on
like.
the show. No, but we ain't got time for that.
No one has time for this. And so it's a really good one. It's around $40, which I know is expensive for a drugstore sunscreen. But I do think La Roche-Posay is on the pricier side of drugstore.
But to our point before, if you're buying anti-aging skincare but not buying sunscreen, what are you doing? This could be both a skin tone evening, aka anti-aging product with moisture, with SPF. It's got everything in one,
Correct.
And there you go.
Yes. And they also, I haven't tried it yet, but
I could justify any purchase. I'm like, sold.
They have a version called UV Clear also that has, I forget what acid it's, but it's for like acne-prone skin. So they're really going
so it's your
into
skincare and your sunscreen.
Yeah, your skincare, sunscreen, serum, all in one. So I love
Raise a wand.
It's one of my favorite new sunscreens. Raise a wand.
Well, I am raising a wand to completely nothing like that product. I'm going to raise a wand to the Makeup Forever Artist Pencils. So I've seen these in people's kits a lot. I started using maybe a year and a half ago. They're for eyes, lips, wherever. So they're that kind of pencil that you could put on whatever. And I was like, this is really good. But I was like, am I being crazy? It's just a pencil. It's a wooden-based pencil. It's hard. I'm like, why am I loving this so much? And then I subscribed to the newsletter, All of My Opinions Are Not Your Own. So that's Annie Krebaum. Sorry, Annie, I always forget how to say your last name. I spelled it wrong when we did an episode with her, and then I had to fix it. I'm such an ass. But she's one half of Eyewitness Beauty with Nick Axelrod. So we did a collaboration episode with them. And after that, I subscribed to her newsletter, and she just put out a newsletter which links to a Google Doc of her Holy Grail products. Now, sometimes when people do this, I'm just like, fine, whatever. Annie's a product developer. She freaking worked on Cloud Paint for Glossier, Boy Brow. She knows products. A woman I used to work with on a product development project works with her. She knows her stuff. So I was like, let me see what's on this makeup list. And I was perusing through, got a couple newbies that I hadn't seen. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to pick these up. And then I saw the Makeup Forever Artist Pencil. And I was like, I don't know why I needed her. Is the word justification or like
her cosign?
Yeah, but I felt like it was a nothing burger of a product. And then I was like, if Annie likes it, it's got to be good. So her color, wait, where is her color? I wrote it down. Oh, Endless Cacao. And she was saying she uses it to sort of sketch. And I was like, that's it. She's so good with words. When you're doing it as a lip liner, it's very sketchy because it's it's not one of those creamy, glidey kind of pencils. It feels more like an artist's colored pencil. Huh. So you can really be precise and shadow. You could even like, if you like overlining, you could overline, but then do a thinner line where you don't want to like create that shadow. Sometimes when people overline with a creamy, greasier pencil, it looks much faker to me. Whereas with the sketchy, the point gets really sharp so that like you can use it on its side. I don't know. I've taken art classes. I like drawing and stuff. So like, wait, that's not, I didn't sharpen that one. I just like that it acts like an artist's pencil,
Cool.
hence the name.
Wait, is it thick?
No, it's thin. It looks almost like a number 2 pencil Ticonderoga that you took the SATs with.
Right. Okay.
Do they still take them with pencil?
I think it's probably all digital now.
Oh my God, I'm so
we're
old. Anyway, the color that I fell in love with is called Boundless Berry. Side note, the Boundless Berry in the red, you're not supposed to use on your eyes because they do have those red pigments that I guess for some people can be irritating. But I've been using it on my lips and it's divine. And it has staying power. They have a waterproof version of this, which is a little bit greasier and creamier. And I think this one stays just as well. And in fact, maybe better because it has like a dry texture to it. So it grabs any lipstick that you put on top. It really doesn't bleed into the area around your mouth. Am I going on too much?
No, it sounds really fascinating.
I know. I get very into the texture of pencils. There's so many, but very few are like that old school wet and wild, dry kind of texture, which if you're good with makeup is actually better. If you're new to lip pencil, maybe it's a little harder because you need to know how to adjust your pressure to get the right cut. Does that make sense?
No, totally, for sure.
I'm like sick, so I'm like, as I'm talking, I'm like, are my words coming out? Am I?
No, it makes a lot of sense.
I love this pencil. Raise a wand.
You're sketching a picture for me.
Stop. I love a play on words. I love you. I love that you brought me gifts. Thank you so much.
I couldn't not bring you something from Thailand. Come on.
I love it.
Especially when it's your favorite.
I know. I'm really excited. All right, everybody else, go get your beauty sleep.
Get your beauty sleep.
If you can't be good, be careful.
We have so many catchphrases now.
I know. And we'll see you on Friday.
Bye.
We hope you enjoyed the show.
It's your reviews and feedback that help us make the podcast even better. Head over to iTunes to rate and review us or email your thoughts to info@fatmascara.com.
We also want to answer your beauty questions and hear what products you love. To share a Raise a Wand product review or to ask a beauty question, email us at info@fatmascara.
If you send it as a voice memo file, we can even share your voice on the podcast. You can also do that by leaving us a voice message. Our phone number in the United States is 646-481-8182.
Thanks so much for listening.